On Friday, a Saskatchewan judge will sentence the truck driver who ran a stop sign and killed 16 people on the Humboldt Bronco team bus, causing so much anguish.
And that's all that went through my head. This is it. This is the valley of death. This is the valley of darkness. And all I saw was darkness. All I saw was hurt and anguish and fear and confusion.
In the wake of all that grief and suffering, a challenge for the court. What constitutes the proper punishment for this man's crimes? Jaskirat Singh Sidhu faces 29 charges of dangerous driving of a motor vehicle, 13 of those for causing injury. The families he tore apart will be forever haunted by his thoughtless act. But some might argue so will he. The CBC's Bonnie Allen talked to 3 Canadians who carry guilt for the lives ended by their driving.
The crash itself, I remember nothing, basically. I remember leaving the party, and then I remember waking up in the hospital.
I remember to about 10:30 at night. At the time in my life, I drank excessively that night. I blacked out.
It's a day that I live with each and every day in my life, and I know there's another family that lives with it in a much larger capacity than I do.
3 fatal collisions roughly 2 decades ago. The circumstances and punishments were different, but all 3 drivers say it's been a life sentence of guilt and remorse.
I drove drunk, I drove fast. I mean, I was distracted. I was a new driver. I was doing it was nighttime. I mean, every possible wrong choice I could have made that night, I made.
In June 2000, Kevin Brooks killed his childhood friend Brendan Buick in a crash that also left him paralyzed.
At first, I wasn't even going to get a lawyer. I was like, I don't want a lawyer. I'll plead guilty. I did it. That's done.
Brooks pleaded guilty to dangerous driving. The judge sentenced him to community service with no time behind bars.
And he just said, I see a young man who killed his friend. You'll live with that forever. And he's just like, what worse sentence can I impose upon you than a life sentence that you've given yourself?
In May 1998, Ted Gross drunkenly sped through a red light and slammed into Melissa Hoving's car, killing her. Gross pleaded guilty to criminal negligence causing death. He received a 3.5-year prison sentence and served 9 months of it behind bars.
Jail taught me responsibility, but more importantly, it made me sort of make amends for some of the sins I had committed.
But the real sentence?
I'm going to have to live with that. I wake up every day thinking about what I have done. That, to me, is the true sentence of my crime.
Mr. Scott Moore.
When Saskatchewan's premier was 24, he drove through a stop sign, killing a woman. Scott Moe was not drunk. It was a momentary lapse of attention. He received a traffic ticket. But the fatal crash has dogged him at every political turn.
It's something that you wake up with every morning. You ask yourself all sorts of questions. Questions like, why not me? Questions like, had I been a few moments earlier, a few moments later, could have this been different?
Questions undoubtedly torturing Jaskirat Singh Sidhu. The truck driver caused the Humboldt Broncos bus crash, killing 16, injuring 13. He says he inadvertently went through a stop sign. Kevin Brooks says no prison sentence could be as difficult as the personal guilt.
I'm paralyzed, from the chest down, and I remember early on, I started getting some feeling in my legs and my butt and stuff, and I was thinking like, no, I don't want this. I don't want to walk again. Like, I don't deserve that. There's a lesson to be learned here.
It's our great province of Saskatchewan.
Scott Moe says his accident motivates him as premier to make the roads safer.
But we were really thinking this could be a crossroads in life. We're partying up, we're having fun.
Both Kevin Brooks and Ted Gross have spent 2 decades trying to make amends, giving hundreds of speeches, trying to stop just one person from driving drunk. Bonnie Allen, CBC News, Regina.
The Crown prosecutors asked for a 10-year sentence for Sidhu, followed by a 10-year driving prohibition. The defense lawyer didn't suggest a specific term, but he did note that some previous cases of dangerous driving causing death yielded sentences of 2 to 4 years.